So, good evening, everyone. And I see the text box has thrown itself out of sync again. So, give me a moment and I'll line it all back up. It's a nightmare for some reason. I don't know why it does that every time. That should be it. Sorting itself out now. Perfect. So, good evening, YouTube. Let me know where you're from in the comments. Like, are you from the Facebook community? Are you from the Reddit community, or simply the YouTube community? Or if not at all, you just jump on because you set the reminder. Let me know. So thank you for joining me. I'll let the people join in. It will get easier as I go along to flick between the two screens that I have to run. I can see there's a few questions coming in, so I will go through them slowly, give you a understanding, hopefully, at some point. If you don't, then you're going to have to drop it in the comment box again, and I'll have another attempt. So hopefully sound is good. You can see me all right, I hope. It's trial and error all the time with this. Which is a nightmare. So firstly, I'll quickly go through the shameful plugs that I have to go through, and we'll go from there. So Thursday night, this Thursday, you'll find me in Folkestone at the Lees Cliff Theatre with a colleague of mine, Sheila French. It will be a double dem. It will be both of us working. I'm sure there will be some experiments thrown into the equation, but in general, a public demonstration of mediumship. So I'm looking forward to that. Also, the newsletter, for those of you that have signed up for the newsletter via the website, that's due out next week. If you are not subscribed to the newsletter, head over to mediumcharliekelly.co.uk, and there is a section there, Contact Us. And if you contact me with the subject newsletter, then it will be sent out to you as of next week. December workshops now sold out. However, I do hold a waiting list. So if you would like to go onto the waiting list, in case there is another cancellation, there was one already, but it's sold again. So if you do want to go onto the waiting list, that's absolutely fine. The workshops are held in Harlow most of the time. Again, if you're interested, waiting list, or for the upcoming ones, you can go onto the Facebook page, Medium Charlie Kelly, where the mentorship and all next year's workshops are listed upon the page. On December the 23rd, there is a very, very special evening. I'm doing a demonstration, again, a double demonstration with me and my friend Marcus. A lot of you will know Marcus from the Medium Wave upon YouTube. He's a very popular medium, and he's kindly invited me to share his platform again for a charity. So tickets are still available. You can find that on the page also. January the 26th, there are spaces on the workshop there. So again, contact the page, and or here we can we can sort that out, get your name down for that. And then I have a unique workshop, and it is a very, very long workshop. This is March the 23rd. This is going to be specifically for platform demonstrating. The workshop is going to start at 10:30 in the morning, and it will finish at 9 p.m. Later that day. So it is a very, very long workshop, that one. However, it has proved popular. I have 2 spaces left for that. So if you are interested in that, then again, jump onto the page where you can express your interest. And then my mentorship that runs over 10 months. So it's meeting up once a month for a weekend, intensive talks, training, practices, etc., all that kind of stuff. There are 2 spaces left for that, which starts late January, early February. I don't have the dates to hand, but there are 2 spaces left. So that's the plugs out of the way. Now we can get on and start going through your questions. Hopefully, there are lots and lots. If, however, I get through them in 15 minutes and there are no more, I will call it an early night. So I'm here for as long as your questions are here. So here we go. Let's go through them. So I remember last time, I remember triangle. I remember that not being your name, but I read it as triangle. So that is what I'll be doing it here, saying here. So, 2 scenarios, private sitting or group. Why do those in spirit talk over one another, even when I ask them not to? I realise they can do this if there are similarities. So I'll break it down because I can see that there are a few questions there from you. Let me go through it. So if in I've got a little post-it note. I need to swap screens for this one. So I've got a little post-it note and a pen. So I can do little drawings on a post-it note for you. So this is it? There you go. That's you in your aura. If you allow more than one into that space, they will just blend with you. They will just blend. If, however, you want one of those out, then you just kick one of them out. You just say, look, this is going terribly wrong. I can't share this space with you. One of you are going to have to leave. So you've got it like this. So you are just sharing it with one communicator. It sounds blunt, but that's it. I've just seen further down that you have asked them, but you are not still asking them. That sounds extremely blunt, and I don't want it to come across as blunt. But it's forceful. It's not rude or disrespectful, but your communication is failing because you are not holding clarity with that. So it's all of you out, or all of you out, because this is just going wrong. Now one back in at a time. This is a very simple discipline, one that you would need to practice a couple of times, and only a couple of times, because you'll get the gist of what it is that I'm saying. So it's either one of you step out or you're both getting out. Either one of you step out or all of you are getting out. It's up to you. And immediately one spokesperson for the friend that you are trying to communicate for will step forward. So example, 2 males on passed in a vehicle accident. Absolutely. And the other was a suicide, 3 years apart. They are friends coming through for another friend here. They all hung out together. Absolutely. But all three are coming into that space because you're allowing them to. They can't do it if you don't allow them to. So it's very, very simple in the process of removing the permission for them to occupy that space. If you only allow space for one, then only one can get in. So that's it. Okay, so we've got another one there. I will get back to your questions in a moment, Triangle. So there is another one here from a Diane Clark. So welcome to the channel, Diane. I haven't seen you on the channel before, I don't think. Maybe I'm wrong. So, hi Charlie, I've given in my notice at work to follow my dreams. Does Spirit have anything to say about my life purpose? Thanks. So, as always, Diane, you're not to know if you're new to the channel, but I don't actually do live psychic readings on the channel. It's the subject of mediumship, and what you're asking is of a psychic faculty. Unless I'm doing a communication for you and they want to talk about you handing in your notice at work. However, across the board, this is, when Spirit are coming through, they are always encouraging, they are always supporting, changing your world, something that's going to do better for you. So Spirit would definitely be backing you. They would be definitely with you in that process, in you handing your notice. And to follow your dreams, then that's just a win-win scenario. So they would absolutely support that. However, that is across the board. I'm not connecting to anyone for you. I'm not proving communication in any way. This is just time and time again. I work with the spirit world absolutely every single day, and every single day they would offer encouragement. So good for you in following your dreams. And my advice to you is, don't worry about it. If you're passionate enough about that dream, then it will work anyway. It will work. So go get it. Well done, you. So another question. Oh, what happened there? That kicked off. Suicides have always come in giving me the feeling of my blood sugar dropping. It's a horrible feeling. I have tried to get them to change it, this physical symbol, for years. Although some will use another symbol, some still choose to in making my body feel like crap. Can you explain why they choose to do this? As sometimes I mistake it as my actual blood sugar dropping. I do suffer from low blood sugar. I think in tests, I can't be 100% sure because I don't have facts and figures in front of me. A lot of the questions are mechanical in the sense of how do I do this. But I think under tests, it's physical mediumship is very, very prone to that feeling of low blood sugar level because of the chemistry that's being undertaken there. So maybe ask for a visual. I know they wouldn't deliberately harm you or make you feel like you're suffering in some way. So maybe they are trying to show you another way, but you're not grasping it. So they go to what you know. But if you don't like it, just absolutely stop it. Just, I don't like that. Don't do that again. You need to find another way or it's not coming through. And again, it's this boundary setting that we need to put in place so you have full control. You are part of a team, and if you're feeling uneasy in any way, they are definitely going to listen. So subconsciously somewhere you must still be looking for that feeling to be coming, and that sounds terrible, I know, but I'm sure you've been here enough to know that I'm not trying to offend you or be rude to you. I'm just saying it very directly, very bluntly, so you understand what it is. So if you don't like it, it's in this space, it's in that auric field of yours, and anything that you allow in that auric field there. So I need to change screen, sorry. So anything in that zone, that's your aura. This is you, that's your aura. Anything in this space here is your responsibility. So don't allow it. Just, no, I'm not doing that, go away. And problem solved. It will stop immediately. Putting aside nervousness and not feeling well, why is it some days the connection is wonderful and other days it is not? So putting aside nerves, actually, you know, like nervousness has got like this belly flip moment to it, hasn't it? And I just think as that feeling comes in and we're not feeling too great, and it may be a client or it may be a big audience, you know, that, oh my God, I feel so nervous. I'm not so sure that is nerves, you know. I'm more and more leaning towards the idea of the two blending together, because I get nervous, but it really heightens just as I'm about to start the work, which coincides with the blending. So I'm not sure it is just nervousness there. The connection is wonderful, and other days it is not. It's a very simple answer, I'm afraid. So one I'm sure you already know, actually. So let me quickly draw. I don't know why why I'm drawing a lot today now. It's because I've just done workshops in Geneva. So you've got 3 points of contact. You've got the spirit world, you've got you, and you've got the client. Yeah? If any of these are kind of weak, then the 3 points of contact are down. So 99% of the time, it's the relationship between you and the client. So it's here. This bottom line here, it's you and the client, because you know you and the spirit world have your connection correct. You know that to be right. So you do all your development on this relationship. So it can only be this one here. and that's where it will start to go down. That's where it will start to be. If your relationship is right with a client, it will be full flow. It will be bang, 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 bang between the two of you, because you're building it up. You're building and building and building. And so as you've built that, this understanding, the client's understanding your mind, the client's understanding how you're working with them and the one in the spirit world, they're listening to you, they're engaging with you, so it'll feel absolutely amazing. It'll be on fire. However, if that relationship is broke down in some way, then it won't work so well. So it'll feel like it's not quite coming in. It will feel like it's not quite right there. Don't know if people are... No. So hopefully that explains that for you. So good evening, Spooky Chris. Good evening, Alfie Divine. Microphone and camera check. Tick. Cool. Hi, Stephanie. So Stephanie from Geneva. You can't stay. That's a shame. So, but I've been with you in a workshop for the last 3 days anyway, so not to worry that you can't stay. Thanks for saying hello to everyone. Good evening, Amanda. Nice to see you on. What's with me then? Because what's wrong with me then? Because I do. Because are you talking about the aura? Are you talking about these post-it notes are sticking to the desk? Uncanny that they've got this sticky tab and they stick. It's nothing wrong with you, Triangle. It's the subconscious. So what happens is, like, what we do, all of us do it as well. So you're not alone here. You go, they won't leave me alone. They won't leave me alone. And actually what's happening, as an example, not you, but as an example to show you how the conscious mind and the subconscious mind are kind of at conflict with one another. So I say to you, if you want to stop the spirit world sort of engaging with you and not working with you after circle, then stop looking for them. And people will go, but I don't look for them. But what happens is, the moment you look to the spirit world, so have they gone? You look. The moment you look, that's you saying subconsciously, connect with me. So when you go, I need you to step out, friend that committed suicide, I need you to step out, your mind is going, friend with suicide, have you stepped out? And they had stepped out, but you've called them back to check that they have stepped out. But by calling them back, they're back in your awareness again. So you have to understand that by looking for them, your mind will go there, and I promise you, every time you look, they will be there every single time. So there's nothing wrong with you. You've just got to stop the double check. So I need you to leave. They will leave. Don't check that they've left, because the moment you double check, they'll be back. So it's everyone saying hi. Okay. Where are we now? Where are we? Good evening, Jenny. Right, I love your teaching, the best. Perfect, thank you. So, Julin Wang. I tell you, I'm so bad with names. I apologise in advance, because I will offend most of you trying to read out your name. So I am super sorry. It's disturbing when I practice mediumship and seem to tell a story that's completely off. Getting kid for adult, wrong life event, can't answer question asked. It's super discouraging. I totally get where you're coming from there, Juling. So what we need to do, and it's something that I absolutely hate in mediumship. I absolutely hate it. However, it is wonderful for the practice, for you to nearly get there. You know, like trying to get used to it. So, for example, what we do is we go in and we go male or female, you know, so it's like adult or child, you're getting them muddled up. So we need male or female, so we get it, male or female. Age, it's almost like you go, what's your age? But what we need is age of passing. So they may want to talk about the time that they knew me. So the communicator may want to come in and talk about the time that they knew me. So when they knew me, they were 40 years old. But actually when they passed, they were 65 years old. So as your mind is setting up the communication, it's slightly going wrong because they want to talk about the time when they were 40. However, my mind knows that they were 65 when they passed. So then you're talking about life events. You know, maybe that would fall under a life event. I want to talk about when I worked with him, when I played football with him, when I did whatever with him. So what we need to do is understand that we need to first get confirmation of who we've got, and we need to do this very, very quickly. So what we do in the early stages, only in the early stages, is we start to do things that we are comfortable with. We get used to asking questions. We get used to, I can feel that he's a family man. And in that moment, you get the feeling you can offset it with how many children do you have. And so what we need is this format, which I absolutely hate. Everyone that knows my teaching will know that I hate this. So male or female, age of passing, the passing condition, a description and hobbies, something like that, passions, you know, what made them tick, what did they love about it. And once you start getting into the swing of getting this format in the right order, we can then start to sort of lose the format. So we can go in and we can introduce ourselves to the spirit world, and I am aware of you. What do you want me to say? And that will very, very quickly sort itself out. So don't be discouraged, because the one thing that I always ask people to do, and always, always, is get it wrong. I mean, get it so wrong, because through this process of you getting it wrong, you will learn to get it right. And so it's a good thing that you're getting it wrong at the moment. So keep faith, keep strong, keep positive, and try and understand why you got a child when it was an adult. Try and not ask questions that you want answered, but actually ask questions to the feeling that they gave you. And what I mean is that they may want to talk about their job. So you get a sense of like working and things like that. So because you got the sense of them working, you can then go, what was your job? What was your title? Maybe you'll get a feeling or a vision or a knowing of what that job is. And so your question was a question aimed at them. So if me and you were talking to one another and I go, hi, Lynn, where are you from? You'll tell me, are you married? Do you have children? How old are you? It's a very normal conversation, the same kind of conversation that we're having. And then as you fill in the blanks from the format, from this here, as you start to fill them in, then I can then add additional questions. Don't try and come out of that comfort zone too early. I see that an awful lot. Blue Feather, hi Charlie. I've waited 2 weeks for this. Good. I'm glad that you're back. It's nice to see you back. Been extremely busy, and in the process, I absolutely done my back in. Couldn't move for about 8 days. I barely made Geneva over the weekend. Where it was lucky enough for me. I got to see a Japanese acupuncturist, I think that's a word, where they eased it a little bit for me. It's still not right. I was gonna do more videos, but standing up for any length of time is a bit of a problem right now. So I haven't got the camera out to do this week's upload. So hopefully they'll be back for you tomorrow, Blue Feather, and for the rest of you on the channel. I should drop one tomorrow. I may do one Thursday because I missed Monday, and then do a regular one on Friday, seeing me out for the week then. So we'll see. So Jill, hi Charlie, during meditation I am feeling a fairly intense pressure on my third eye. It's not painful, but recently it is really strong. What is this, please? So, so Jill, it's a good question, one that a few people are probably have looked at themselves before. So, if have you ever like these post-it notes are coming in really handy today. So, so if I grab that and I quickly sliced it along my hand, I really hope that don't give me a cut. But you get a paper cut, don't you? You kind of like, oh God, that's really hurting me. That's really hurting. And then I look at it, and as I look at it, I can see that there's a little bit of an opening. Now my attention's on the opening, and it really nips. It really starts to hurt more, and it won't go away now because my attention's on it. That's what's happening in your meditation. You're aware of it. So you're using something that you're unfamiliar with as such. Now your attention's gone to it. You're looking for it even before it started. You're looking for it. So it will feel more intense because you are out looking for it. And then you find it. And so the intensity is because you have an awareness of it. To ease up on that, you kind of just got to go with it. You don't kind of want to be looking for it. But there are a number of things that can come into play there. You have to be mindful that if you're doing gym work, you know, you're doing the treadmill, you run 1 kilometer, 2 kilometers a day, and then one of those days you decide to go to 5 kilometers, you are going to know about it. You've run an extra 3 kilometers. Your body is going to feel it. And what you're doing is giving your mind a workout. And it's feeling it. It's gonna feel it because you're putting in extra effort, extra work. So that's the answer there. So stop looking for it. It will subside. But remember, if you're doing a little bit more than normal, you're gonna feel it also. So it's nothing to worry about. It's something to be embraced. Acknowledge it, then let it go. Do you feel Reiki or other healing modalities helping development of mental mediumship? Absolutely. Absolutely. See, it all falls under labels, doesn't it? What kind of labels it is. Reiki or healing, spiritual healing, trance healing, whatever healing. Healing is healing, isn't it? So it's one of those things for me that if you are a natural healer, you're someone that wants to help people and you look at them to help them and you're very empathic and you're compassionate for their current situation, then that is absolutely going to help your mediumship. Absolutely. I know Gordon Smith is someone that advocates that, done a lot of work on his healing before he went into mental mediumship. So absolutely, it will definitely help. I also believe not because of compassion or because your empathy with another human being. I actually think it's a canister to hold spiritual energy. So if you are holding spiritual energy more and more, you can hold more, you can use it more efficiently in mental mediumship because you have a training of holding that energy source through the practice of healing, whatever form of healing that is. So absolutely, it will definitely benefit your mediumship. Can the client be shut off and block you? They can. So Diane, good question. So I see you didn't run off. That's a good thing. Can the client be shut off and block you? So I don't like the word block. So everyone that knows me, Diane, right now, that knows me from, you know, Essex and my teaching and everything, they're all laughing or rolling their eyes right now because you've used the block word. A client can be shut off and block you as you've worded it there. So it's they can be shut off. Now I could say, who was it? Diane. So hi Diane. I am aware of a gentleman here, and I believe him to be your father. Your father makes me feel he's around the age of 17. He's got quite a difficult passing in in the latter part of his life. I feel chest complaints. I know that his heart stops, but I know that there's respiratory issues just before he passes. Now, all of that information might be absolutely pinpoint accurate, maybe. And then you, as the client, go, no, then I am never, ever, ever, ever going to get through to you. It's not going to happen. No matter what I say, and you just say no, can be blocking me because you're not allowing the information to happen. So the information will be there. I can only express it. However, if you're not engaged with me and you're not willing to work with this, then it can go no further. So it will go from spirit to me. I will speak it. However, you're refusing it. So it's got nowhere to go. And then we fall back to the 3 points of contact. Your dad is trying to talk to you. So you've got these two here. However, I'm trying to talk to the spirit world, but mine and your links are failing there. So it fails on this part. Therefore, block will come into play. I hope that answers you there, Diane. If you don't understand that, please just drop it in the bottom there. Karen, so hi Karen and Paul, so nice to see you. You weren't on at the start, Karen. I'm down to 2 places on the mentorship, so I know you were interested in looking at it. But I'm down to 2 now, so if you are still interested, I need you to express that in some way so I can hold those spaces for you. Very helpful. No problem, Diane. That's the purpose of the channel. I try to make it easy. Mediumship is so easy. It's honestly the easiest thing I've ever done. However, people's minds are a nightmare. They are a nightmare. We are our own worst enemy. So and Diane says, I've left my day job to pursue my readings full time. That's amazing, and I totally understand where you are with that. That's a good thing. Where are you from, Diane? What part of the world are you from? Where do you live? You know, don't put your postal address or anything. But just let me know in the comments. Carol's put in. So Diane, under your name there, Carol's dropping video links for you to have a look at, because there's been videos created for the questions that you have asked so far. Lillian, my amazing translator. I've had an amazing weekend with Lillian. She did an amazing job translating my English to the Genevan people over the weekend. It was a fabulous weekend. I'm still catching up on energy after that weekend, but it was so worth it. So welcome this evening, Lillian. So, Triangle, how do you handle a parent, who has lost a child to murder and wants nothing but revenge? The mother won't listen to the child, only wants the child to tell her how the murderer will be punished on the other side. I'm looking for an example of how you would have handled it. Yes, this will help me. Thank you. There is. Do you remember how I called that one up? That one there. So that's the aura and the person. There is absolutely nothing you can do to change that mindset of that mother, unfortunately, that's lost a child to murder. I absolutely understand why that mother is feeling that way right now. Absolutely. However, it's not your job. It's that your job is to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that the child is still consciously live in another place. That is your job. Anything else is out of your control. It's not what you're signed up to do. That is something that only the mum can sort of come to terms with. If she's not listening to the child from the other side, you know, like you've proved communication, then that's as much as you can do. And each of us handle those kind of scenarios very, very differently. So unfortunately, there is nothing you can do but keep proving the child's existence, and hopefully the mum will turn it round at some point. Revenge has an effect on the body that's not very good. So I always revert to natural law. They may think they've got away with it this side of life, however, the law is perfect. So, but that's not very easy to hear when you have a child that's been taken from you. So I empathise with you, Triangle. However, it's not your job, I'm afraid. Take your time with the videos. Focus on getting yourself better. Thank you. It's and I reckon a few more days I should be at ease. It aches. It's just I really done it this time, so not good. So Jonathan, hi Charlie, how can I improve my vision as I am an empath and I was told by many mediums and a Wincanton I was half angel and feel what sometimes feeling. I go to them and need help. Okay, so again, it's terminology, Jonathan. You know, what is an angel? So I wouldn't take that from anybody else. Angels can be someone that's just bought a homeless man a cup of coffee. They're almost angelic in their action. They may save the man's life for the evening because they bought him a warm drink or a warm meal. So it's terminology, and terminology I tend not to sort of get too involved in. So, and you've been told that you're a medium by many mediums. Again, I see a lot of this in the UK where mediums are telling people they're mediums or they're healers or they're seers or whatever. It's all irrelevant, Jonathan. If you want to improve your clairvoyance, then that is what will make you a medium. I have no stronger gift than you or any person on this channel or in the world right now. It's just something that I've been practicing a lot of. The potential is there in me and in you. We are equal. So therefore, there's no chosen ones as such. So the fact that you're empathic and you're compassionate and you want to help people, that in itself makes you is enough for you to go and develop mediumship. And all the videos on the channel will help you get clarity of this mind of yours, which will come in the form of feelings, sensations, emotions, and visuals. So I hopefully you're subscribed, all of you subscribed, hopefully. Where these videos are aimed at those sort of questions, Jonathan, where we can give it a very simple process for you to get up and running as quickly as possible. So take a look, and hopefully you will find some good videos there that will help you in some way to improve your vision. I would look at developing them all, not just clairvoyance, but look at the sentient part of you, the emotions. It will change you as a person for the better. So I look forward to hearing more of your questions, Jonathan. Ray's made an appearance, so good evening, Ray. I know you've been here a little while, but I've just got to this part there, mate. So good evening to you. How can you tell when you are at the correct thoughts per second state? Is there an easier way to get there? It's actually you can't monitor it. You can't. There's no way of monitoring it like without putting the equipment on your head as such. So it's a training. It's the way you go to that. Now, maybe I'm a little bit blasé with it now because I've spent years and years developing it. That I take a breath and I move my mind to the spirit world, then immediately my mind is there. So once you've got that mark for I know I'm there in the spirit world, that is the acknowledgement. So it's as quick as a breath. So, Ray, if I ask you now, just think of your youngest daughter. Like, visualize her. Now visualize Becky. Now visualize your eldest daughter. Now visualize your mum. That's an altered state. You're already going there. So the moment you know that you're at that space of practice at the spirit world, then the moment your mind moves there, you're already there. So you're occupying a thought with, am I there? Then that thought in its own will pull you away from it. So just know that you are there. And I think that makes sense. I think it does. So Rosie Marshall, blockage. So that was to Diane. So Rosie has obviously heard me talking about that particular word. No problem, Blue Feather. Rosie, Diane, there's blockages there for you. No problem, no problem. Charlie, can you go over sitting in the power? I know you have a video on it. It is helpful, necessity to sit in complete silence to build the power for when we are in circle or on platform. Okay, so Blue Feather. Is it a necessity to sit in complete silence? So, I feel like I'm on my EasyJet flight back from Geneva. You know, where they say take a look at the instructional card in case of an accident. Brace yourself, Blue Feather, because is it a necessity to sit in complete silence? I would ask you whenever, if you can list it, whenever you have had complete silence. And ever. And the answer will be you've never had it. So I have never understood why mediums try to get training mediums to practice in silence. That makes no sense to me. If I'm about to do an evening of mediumship and there is a noise outside, then all my training has gone out the window because the noise has taken my attention. If I'm about to do an evening of mediumship and the door creaks at the back and it throws my attention, all my training goes out of the window. So I ask people, if you're sitting in my classroom and people on here have sat in my classroom, I will open windows. I want the noise of traffic going past. I want people shouting down the road. I want all the noises to go on. So you train to focus still in the silence of your mind while there is noise outside. And that is training focus. So is it necessity to sit in complete silence? It's an absolute must that you must not sit in silence for the better training. And this will make you an all-round better medium. Start off with slower or softer sounds and gradually build it up. I would try to meditate next to a motorway. Blue Feather, I think you're from the US. So by the freeway, I would get as close to the freeway as I could and then enter that process in my mind that I know is sitting in my power or meditation, so I could focus beyond noise. I hope that makes sense. So Diane Clark, Rittle, so that's just down the road from me. So I'll have to. Have you got a Facebook page or something like that? I'll have to check you out. I don't know if I've met you or not. So I'm sure I have. I must have. Being that close. Cool. And when we are sitting in the power, do we try not to communicate? No, the point of sitting in the power is to build a relationship with your team. So as I move my mind to my, because we've had the different terminology on here, so my team, my guides, my gatekeeper, my angels, my whatever, fill in the blank. While I go in there, I offer this 30 minutes, this 45 minutes, this hour to them, that title that we choose to give them. And then I allow whatever happens. Now that might be silence. That might be a rainbow of colours. That might be a mind journey, an emotional journey, a sensory journey of some sort. And I know that I've given them 30, 45 minutes, an hour, then I know at that hour it will stop. So I allow them to govern what's going on, not what I do. So if at any point they're saying to me, I need to converse with them by giving me questions and they need an answer from me, at that point I would talk to them. Other than that, I would go through the experience that they are teaching me. I would go through that. That's a great question though, and a really, really good question. I can't believe how easy it has become since learning your technique or just shifting the awareness on the breath. Just amazing. It's really, really hard to get this channel up and running. You know, like it's nearly at, what, 600 now. And I absolutely thank every single one of you. It's amazing. However, I know that there are channels on here with like 150,000, 200,000 subscribers. And it's all about, you will never achieve what I can achieve. It's so far out of reach that I just can't get there. You can't get there without purchasing this, or buy this, or do this, or do that. And it is so frustrating to sit here and know that mediumship is so, so easy, that if we can come together and have an understanding of this mind, many, many, many more people would be doing it. So that is a wonderfully nice comment there, Blue Feather. Just a little bit frustrating on my part, but it's what I signed up for. Paul says, sign us up for the mentorship. So the mentorship is now sold out. So I need to get that one sorted. Perfect. This chat just jumps all over the place. My apologies. I now need to find where we got going. Videos. Okay, so Carol's got that sorted out. Perfect. Can you be spiritual? Ray. You know, people love you, Ray. People do love you. Can you be spiritual without also being religious? Both have forgiving and love properties, but are considered to be quite different. Absolutely. You also being religious. Well, you've got a lot of people that, especially Christianity. You've got Christian spiritualists. That would be someone that follows Christianity and develops mediumship. Although I get it, I totally get what you're going to say next. It's like, but one tells you not to do it. You shouldn't talk to that. Christianity tells you not to do that, and I absolutely agree with you. I think all religions try to keep you away from the truth, from this process of mediumship. Absolutely. And it makes sense that all religions want to keep you away from it, because we wouldn't listen to half the nonsense that goes on. So you can, it doesn't matter if it falls under a spiritual, but I know many spiritual people that are, you know, they are pigs. They are horrible people, and they are deceiving, and they're manipulating, and they're terrible people under the spiritual banner. I mean, the religious banner, we see it on the news every single day, that every walk of life has this. I think to be truly spiritual within yourself is about that speaking your truth and walking your truth and promoting your truth, and, you know, teaching your philosophy, walking the words that you go by is a spiritual way. It doesn't have to belong to any spiritual group or religious group, because you know when you've been an idiot. You know when you're doing it from the right place. You know ethically and morally where you came from, where that come from. And so that for me is spiritual. So yeah, misresponsibility. So good evening. I don't think I've said good evening to you yet. So when do you know if it is time to progress from doing free readings to charging? Is it accuracy of evidence? What are the guidelines for transiting to this? Your time is always important. It's always important. And unfortunately, everyone will take something for free. Every single person. They will be kind. They will be friendly. They will be your friend because there's something free. So it's about if you're going to spend 30 minutes on a sit-in and you're doing that for 4 sit-ins, 6 sit-ins, 10 sit-ins at 30 minutes, that's 300 minutes that you have lost there. So you have to give yourself value. Now, if your readings are accurate and they have evidence, no one will mind paying that. No one will mind giving you money anyway. So you can start at $5. I think you're from the US. You can start at $5. Move it to $10, move it to $15, move it up to the going rate in your area in a very short space of time if you are accurate and if it is evidential. Your time is important. Your training has cost you money. It's cost you time. It's cost you a lot. Your training to do your readings. So here in the UK, my certifications, my qualifications, my time, my everything has been put into mediumship, and therefore that requires you to have some value in yourself. You know, like I'm sure that there are plumbers that are learning their trade. I'm sure there are electricians that are learning their trade. They still charge. They don't do it for free, do they? Bricklayers are learning their trade, but they won't build you a house because they're learning. They learn on the job. And so you are no different. You are learning mediumship. You're an apprentice. You're on an apprenticeship with mediumship. And so it's what value you give to yourself. It's quite hard to overcome that bit in the early days. I totally appreciate that. However, you will always have clientele when it's free. When you're giving it for free, you'll always have clientele. When you charge, that will change very, very quickly. So if you're happy, you've been doing it long enough, put a small fee on it, and then every so often just add and add and add to it. So I would say do it from the start, you know, like a very small, a recommended donation of $5, $10, whatever it'll be, to give you value. You need to give you value. So hi Karen. So I was aware when practicing a one-to-one reading that I was slipping between working physically and psychically. Working psychically and mediumistically. How do I bring it back to working with spirit? Okay, so what I do, I personally can't stand psychic work. It's just my own pet hate. I don't really like it. And so what I do is, like, if I know, I will notice it through terminology immediately. If you're too occupied. So I will notice it's I'm aware, or your dad shows me. If I'm working with dad, I recap on what's gone on, maybe 3 or 4 things, you know. So as I work with your dad, who is 75, who passes of a heart attack, you know, and he was in South Africa when it happened, that will bring dad closer again, because you're recapping. So recap silently in your mind to bring it back to where you need it to be back to. So if you're worried, just quickly go over a few statements in your mind, and you will be there. And you will, yeah, you'll draw them close once more. You can just say, move closer. Can you draw closer? And they will, but you have to know that you can do that. Oh, it jumped again. Oh, this is so annoying. Right there. I'm sitting in the power, the same as raising vibration. Kind of. Misresponsibility, yeah. Can't you just raise vibration, get to feeling really good as means to connect spirit? Exactly. It's just a thought. You've said it yourself. You've said it right there. Just move the mind. Move the mind. Done. And away I go. It really is that easy. So, hi, Karma Platel. Karma Platel. Cool, hi up. No worries. Rosie, it won't let me ask a question. It says it's too long. So, break it in two. Just put at the bottom continued, and then I know to read a little bit more. I was so confused about that. Thank you so much. No worries, Blue Feather. Break it down, Rosie. So you've just been told there. I've messaged you on Facebook. I've recently got married, and my name is now Diane Barnard. I also know Marcus through Arthur Finley. Cool. Arthur Finley College, I better say there, in case someone's not got the chat on their screen. So, yeah, cool. Something's happened there, don't know. But hi, Suzanne. Rosie, how can I make myself more aware that I'm connecting with spirit? With me, it just happens, and it's not until after the event I realised I was connecting. Then I kick myself for not practicing. Okay, so you're obviously doing that in two parts, so I'll do that. So, it's Corinne. So, hi, Corinne from Geneva. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. When I had the chance, I've given up on trying to make it happen. So I've told myself I would just learn as it goes, but not until after I realised then it's too late. So Rosie, you know how simple I make this, and it's very, 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 very easy to do mediumship. And that's probably why you're missing the subtlety within the mind there. To practice is like 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes a day. But to actually get good workouts on it, that's why I do the workshops. So maybe do a couple a year, 3 or 4 a year, you know, something like that to highlight when it is that you're going there. It's just a thought. If you're thinking spirit world, then you are developing as you are thinking spirit world. What I chose to do was keep that to a set time. So on a Monday evening from 9 o'clock till 10 o'clock, when you've put the kids to bed, etc., etc., when you've got that moment when you can sit, then in that moment you can realise the subtlety, what it feels like, and then you will know for next time. So Suzanne says, hi. Hi Charlie, just to say a huge thank you, as after watching your videos I've become more confident in my mediumship. I have simplified them so much. That is the purpose of the channel. So that is why I do it, Suzanne. So thank you for some very, very nice feedback there. Thank you. Much appreciated. Miss Responsibility, I am from the States, so cool. Chris Davis, I'm not sure what happened, but sound is slow and like Darth Vader. Is anyone else having problems with sound? We'll soon. Hold on, let me just jump over. It's saying it's all clear this end, Chris. Maybe reload, refresh the page, or but I don't think, I don't know if anyone else is having problems. My end, it says it's okay at the moment. But if someone says that there's a problem, I will try to fix it. I just need to make sure it's not just you. Okay, cool. It looks like it's just you there, Chris. So just give it a quick reload. But to sound like Darth Vader must sound pretty good. I would maybe leave my voice like that. It's probably better than this voice, isn't it? So I did my first paid online reading last week, and the client's response was, "Is that all for the money?" Even though it was full of evidence, she didn't even validate anything. So disappointing. Unfortunately, that will happen. I'm afraid there are just some people that you won't be able to connect with. That's that. If you were on earlier, Suzanne, that is the 3 points of contact that I talk about. Spirit world, me, client, and if I break any of these, it won't be so good. I'm not sure what it is that they expect. If it's full of evidence, then you've done your job, and that's it. You've done your job. Unfortunately, that will happen. So chin up. Don't let it bother you. You need to develop like a bomb-proof suit when you're working in this kind of thing. That is kind of the problem with online, unfortunately. So maybe build up enough confidence to get a few real life people in front of you. That will do your mediumship and your confidence the world of good also. But at least you're doing it. At least you're out there. You're trying and you're charging. That's a good thing. So well done. I don't think that's disappointing. I think there's a lot to be learnt from that. So I see a lot of positives in that. So well done you. Well done. Tina. So good evening, Tina. I don't know if you're subscribed to the channel. If not, click that subscribe button and the notification bell for all upcoming videos and live feeds. Anyway, you have a question. So when I started connecting to spirit properly, I have been getting splitting headaches afterwards. Do you know what that might be? Psychic work has been fine, but the spirit world energy is... Oh, that jumped a mile. Is on crack. Do you know what that could be? Did I miss one there? No, that's it. That is it. Okay. Our spiritual energy is like being on crack. Do you know what that could be? None of us are thinking right now, how do you know what it feels like to be on crack? None of us, just to put that out there. But yeah, I know exactly what that is. So, Tina, so the reason that is happening, firstly, we need to make sure that you're taking lots of water. You know, that's why you see lots and lots of water. You're using your this muscle in here that you're not used to using. So if you are concerned, I'm not a doctor, so book yourself an appointment with your GP, get it checked out. But if it's only happening with mediumship, when you're connecting spiritually, and that's when the headache happens, then the likelihood is that it's just unfamiliar for you. So I always liken it to the gym, which was on at the start of the live feed. And if you have never run in your life, and then I put you on a treadmill at 50% pace and make you run 20 kilometers, tomorrow your legs are gonna hurt so bad, because you're using muscles at a rate that you are not used to using. And that is what's going on in your head. You are not used to using it. So a little bit of practice, lots and lots of fluids, that will stop that headache. It's very, very short-lived. I'm sure most, if not all, of the mediums on the live feed right now would have experienced the same thing. So I'm certain that that's what it is, just overdoing it. And you don't know that you're overdoing it. So it's just a little bit of a workout. So keep going. Just want to say thank you, Charlie. You have never changed in the many years that I have known you. Even before you embarked on your development, you were always so honest and could relate to any situation. I thank you as well, Ray. So you are very welcome, and you will always be my buddy. So nice to see you've cleared that mind of yours. Nice to see. So Karen says, thanks, Charlie. That really helps me because I don't want to work on a psychic, and you're right. I do feel the terminology changes. I will do what you say next time it happens. Recap, recap, recap. Absolutely. And then let us all know how easy it was just to reconnect. It's stupidly easy. So good for you. So hopefully that will iron out that little problem for you. And then when you choose to go to the psychic, you can just choose to go there, can't you? So all good. Misresponsibility. Charlie, I know I keep asking every time you do one of these, but when are you offering online training to us home bodies? Sooner than you think, Misresponsibility. So I currently have 4. I think it's 4. You being 5. I think the 5 would be enough to run a US mentorship. So let me. I had a pen here somewhere, didn't I? I need to round it up. So misresponsibility. How do you spell that? Responsibility. I'm gonna try. I'll give it a try. I'll run it for a year, and if it works, then it works, doesn't it? So misresponsibility. Can you send me an email at mediumcharliekelly.co.uk? Send me an email, but with the title as mentorship. Yeah, US mentorship. If you do that, then I will send over the details as I finalise it with a few other people from the US. So if anyone on here from the US is interested in an online mentoring, then express now, and I will be in touch very, very soon. But do that, do that via email. So I don't know if admin can add an email there or the website or something there. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? So sound is good. All right, here we go. Found you again. Okay, it's fine again now. Cool. So I should start deliberately talking like Darth Vader, shouldn't I? Cool. So Rosie, get yourself booked. They're selling out, Rosie. So you're gonna have to let the page know, let Carol know, because they're selling out quite quickly now. So, and everyone enjoys your company. Cool, cool. I cannot believe the difference in my mediumship since I've watched your channels. Talking in Mechanics has absolutely removed all the ridiculous nonsense out there. That is such a kind message also. I'm feeling the love here on YouTube tonight. So you're all absolutely welcome. You are the reason I do it. Comments like that are the reason I do it. The quality of mediumship going up is the reason I do it. It's just, you guys make it worthwhile when I see things like that. So, cool. So, first time on the channel. Cool, Diane Clarks, that's good. So, when I log on, I should see another subscriber. Towns Paycheck. I recognise that. Where do I recognise it? That was on the last feed, wasn't it? Hello again, Charlie. Cool. Hi, Towns Paycheck. Love to see your Q&A. As an open-minded skeptic, I'm quite curious to know if you have ever done scientific study on the success of your communication with the spirit world. And you will be very pleased to know that I have. I work with King's College London. I work with Durham University and Canterbury University, all where papers have been wrote on the subject. And if you are super curious about science and spirituality coming together, if you go to Science Frontiers, there is a live seminar next year where all the speakers from the science world and the mediumship world are coming together in Maidstone, where you can bring the opened, skeptical mind with you and embrace it. So absolutely. A few of you may be surprised. I'm a very skeptical medium, so it's the science thing for me definitely opened up my mind. I absolutely love helping out at King's College and the universities, and I sign up for them all when they come asking. I'm immediately there, and I go and get wired up and go with it. So absolutely, there is a very noticeable difference on the neuros within the mind, which can be seen on the monitor. So absolutely. So Suzanne, thanks. Charlie, onwards and upwards. Got a couple of face-to-face readings lined up soon. It's what I really want to do. Can't wait. So, and I can't wait to hear of the results. So well done you for taking that leap and getting out there and doing it. Spirit energy always feels amazing. I feel very good, very up, and like could run around the block. Psychic energy tends to be more draining, not as uplifting or neutral. Is that your experience? Absolutely. The way I liken it is to this annoyance, which is the phone. So when I'm using my phone and I'm using YouTube, watching Peter McKinnon or watching Peter's Twitter or whatever it is, and I'm off the mains, it drains the battery. So in this instance, I'm the phone, but I don't have the mains power source. So psychically, my battery is just draining while I'm on Facebook and YouTube and all sorts. However, when I plug in to the mains, I can sit on YouTube all day long. I can sit on Twitter all day long and live feed all day long. I can do everything all day long because I'm into the mains. And so it's no different. So when I connect spiritually, I connect to the source, as they call it, source power, whatever. It's full on all day. The moment I unplug, I'm using my own battery, which is limited. So I hope that hope that answers that. I think I already know what your answer will be, Charlie. But do you think diet, drink has an effect on our abilities to develop mediumship? No. Now, of this mind, I smoke way too much. I drink Red Bull. I drink Coca-Cola. This is not an ad. Coca-Cola, and I like to drink cognac when I can. You know, it's one of those. Does it affect my mediumship? No, absolutely not. Will drinking water and eating only organic food and looking after my person be much better? Absolutely. I'm not arguing about that. I think if you're looking after this a lot better, the mind will be clearer. I'm sure there's a lot of things that go with sugar, you know, like the clarity of mind. Will it affect what you're doing right now? No, because that's how you live your life, and you're developing with it how you live your with how you live your life. So just making that purer can only improve it for you. So which I'm sure you knew the answer was going to be that. So Blue Feather. Can't you do it online too? Not really. Not when you live down the road. If that's the only way I'm going to get you to work, then I will put it on. Maybe. It's not something I want to do. It's only because it's in the US. So, and if I let you in, then all the people in the UK are going to go, but what about me? So I may have to just be defiant on YouTube and say no to you there. And maybe after. Charlie will send you an email, Roger Dodger. Okay, so I will look out for it. Triangle as well. Triangle. Jeanette. And Blue Feather. Okay, so that's 4. Cool. So that's 4. Another, I think another. Another 2, so 6. So I'm working out lessons in my head. So okay, so another 2. So if any of you miss responsibility, Blue Feather, Jeanette, or Triangle, you've got anybody else that will be interested, get them onto me, and I will get this. I will get this done. I will get it out there. Okay, I have not felt the need to sit in the power as much. Is that normal as you continue to develop? I feel like it goes on like a light show now. I think it's one of those things that, you know, like I definitely can't sit in that place or that space for any long periods of time now, because I tend to be on a platform, or or I'm teaching in places like Geneva, well, like for an entire weekend. So I'm in that zone, I'm in that space, I'm in that place a lot more anyway, rather than just, for me, I'm always working in there. I should try and work a little bit more on for me, absolutely, but I think it's normal because you're working a lot more with it. So makes sense to me. Makes sense. Charlie, do you hear or do you always work using telepathy? So I like the way that you've said that. So it's mind to mind with the spirit communication, just for those that don't understand that. Do I hear? Sometimes I hear, as in voices outside of your head when working with spirit. Sometimes, so one's subjective, one's objective. And we've all had that at some point, I think, where we hear things objectively and only subjectively. It's part of the process, I think. So, yes. Yes, quite a simple answer. Where are we? Have I made the bottom? I've made the bottom. Right, okay. Have I? Yes. So, no, it's not pink. I don't know what's the pink about? Not to worry. Okay. Oh, I left my water bottle there last time. Thought it was that. Cool. Hello again. Hey. Okay, so nice to. I've finally got to the bottom. I actually finally got there. So I think I answered every question. If I missed any, then now is the time to start ploughing your questions in at the bottom there. I don't know if Amanda and Mandy are still watching, and if I am, I'm booming out of your TV. I'm just scrolling through my questions list, and I didn't see one from you guys, and I said I would pick on you if you didn't send one in. So you said good evening, so I know that you can get there. Hey, so Teresa T. I missed yours. What is this about? Oh, there you are. There you are. Got ya. So I haven't missed it. It's at the bottom. So it's all good. So what is this all about? It's about mediumship. So a mediumship is proving beyond a reasonable doubt that life continues, life goes on, and I do this through the form of evidence. Not only me, lots and lots of people across the world use mediumship or spirituality in some way or another. So that's what this is about. It's about making it easy, give you understanding of what it's about. I'm not sure 50 Cent can help me in any way. Maybe he can, maybe he can't. But if he's your manager, you can certainly direct him to this channel. And if he feels like he's going to help in any way, then by all means, he's more than welcome. Oh, that is well funny. Quality. So, welcome to the live feed, 50 Cent. I'm surprised it hasn't got official or something like that. So Teresa called you, and you jumped straight on Charlie Kelly's YouTube. So thanks for jumping in. Gonna make shift. Take it easy, mate. Catch you later, Spooky Chris. Do you feel spirit messages from your mind or in the aura? For me, in the mind. Because that's where I translate it. So I'm trying to think of how that can be best put. Because the information is coming through my mind, it would then go into my aura, you know, like, so I kind of want to say both, because if I have an ailment, like maybe I have a painful knee, then that would have to go through the aura to give me the sensation of a pain in my knee. So I'm going to say both there, Tina, but I think it goes in an order. I think it would go through mind, then to aura. So, Corinne, maybe it's a stupid question. They're never stupid. They're never, ever stupid. But what kind of meditations do you make to train your link with the spirit world at the beginning? I'm really bad at meditations. I think you need ones, knowing you, Corinne, knowing you need ones that are active. You don't, your mind is the wrong mind. So if you are someone that's very busy and you're quite analytical and you're using your mind very, very quickly, then getting one to slow you down and be very passive and be very still and very quiet is the wrong kind of meditation for you. It's not going to be the right kind of mechanic for you. So you're going to have a lot of problems getting it right, making it feel right. It's going to be very difficult. So you need ones that are going to be very, very mindful, ones that are going to occupy the mind of yours. So what I would do is I use a corridor. When I'm doing it, I use a corridor. And I just say behind that, whatever's behind the door that the spirit world want me to experience today will be behind one of those doors. Now, however long that corridor is entirely up to you. Mine now is a corridor full of experiences, so it just goes on and on and on. So you need to be mindful of what you want to do. So do all the thinking before you go in, then have your corridor, know that there's going to be a room, and that will be very, very active for you, keeping you in that space that we need to keep you in. It's just one of those, you know. Just give it a try, and we'll see what's going on there. That is definitely not a stupid question, and many people will get something from that. That's absolutely brilliant. So I don't know what's going on with 50 Cent, Pickle Rick, and Teresa. But it looks like everyone's being timed out, or you're being put in the sin bin for some reason. So maybe Diddy's not got enough on tonight and let all his little cronies out to piss about. So maybe I'll give Diddy a call and rein them in for us. So I've heard it could take spirits 3 months after passing to come through. Is this true, or can they come through at any time? So in my experience, for me, it's always been immediately. So I've had people on the way back from the hospital come and see me without me knowing. Obviously, I wouldn't see them that quickly. I've had it where I've been on a church platform and someone's received a call that morning, and then on that evening they've come through in a demonstration and demonstrated that they're there. So for me, I think that's a very human way of thinking. So for me, I think it's immediate, but only in my opinion. The only way I can prove that is that we would have to wait for someone to pass, and then I immediately communicate with them. So in my opinion, I don't think it takes any length of time like that to do that. Oh, and Zodi family, there's a video I've done on that very subject. So Carol's placed it down there. Good evening, David. So my probably my oldest friend now, jumping on this evening. So good to see you. I don't mean oldest as in years. I mean longest friend that I have, not age. Is practice the best way to get better at telling the story during development? I feel like I'm stumbling with my words during readings, but it may be just me being self-conscious. The problem with practice is that if I say to you, try and do this, and that practice is wrong, then you are trying to practice something that's never going to work. So if you are trying to tell a story and you are tripping on your words as you're trying to tell that story, then a little bit more practice may help you be less self-conscious and work with your words and expressing them. However, if you was just to slow down just a touch, that will give you time to process it. That will give you time to speak it. By just slowing down your words a little bit, that will give you that time to stop the stumble. So where your energy and your frequency has risen because you're connecting, you tend to talk way too fast and the client ain't got a moment, or we can let the energy be fast but talk much slower so the client can pick it all up without me stumbling upon my words while trying to tell the story. You see what I mean? You see where that's going? So, Alexandra, nice to see you on the channel, so hit subscribe. I'm totally new to this kind of thing and your channel. I used to communicate with spirits when I was a child, and as I grew older, it seemed to lose this gift. This was never something that I really thought about until recently, as I am pretty certain I can feel a lot of different energies around me that are trying to connect. Would really appreciate some kind of validation or guidance. Well, the channel's there for the guidance. The validation, I'm not sure what you want me to validate. The mind is potentially there for the spirit world to use. If you were doing it as a child, then just society, just school, just conditioning has taught you not to look there, to not be aware. So all we have to do is change your awareness for you to get your own validation, and the channel and the live feeds are there for your guidance until you can connect to your spirit team or your guides to then follow their guidance. So it's something very simple, and it's just moving the mindset there. Lots and lots of videos for you in the early stages are all over this channel, and you will very, very quickly pick up to that state of awareness again. Now, it's absolutely mind-boggling. I mean, we've had 50 Cent in here tonight. We now have the Holy Jesus and Pope Francis. This is just amazing, absolutely amazing. So the algorithm's obviously doing what it needs to do. So as you can imagine, this is very confusing time for me. Absolutely, totally understand that. However, it doesn't need to be confusing. So what I tend to do is try and get discipline in order first. So what we need to do is shut it down completely. Then we go into a set time frame. So Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, maybe 7 till 9. Open your mind to it. There it will be. And you will feel the difference between the subtlety in your awareness, giving you the discipline to when you should go to the spirit world and when you shouldn't be going to the spirit world. Therefore, eliminating the confusion. There is nothing to be scared of, nothing to fear. This is something that is going to be very, very beneficial to your everyday as well as mediumship in general. Charlie, sometimes in Circle we have to deal with people who are seriously away with the fairies. I'm going to direct them to your channel. Absolutely, absolutely. Maybe they come along with this dude, Pope Francis, and the Holy Jesus and 50 Cent tonight. So maybe that's those people there. So thank God I have admins on here, eh? Okay. Okay, thank you. I'll check the video out. Brilliant. So, are you best to stick to one teacher, or would it be better to have more than one teacher to learn different mechanics? So, very good question. See, this is why I want you asking questions. So, I had let me see. I probably had 3 different teachers in the beginning. So when I first got into the spiritual movement and mediumship, I just wanted to learn and learn and learn and learn and learn. However, my church circle teacher had a completely different philosophy to my Wednesday night teacher. And my Wednesday night teacher had a completely different philosophy to the colleges or the schools that I was going to. So what I found was that the church and the Wednesday teacher would kind of contradict one another. And then the Wednesday, so I gave up the church one and I went to the Wednesday one a lot more. And the Wednesday one wasn't quite answering the questions that I had, that the schools and the colleges that were sort of asking or talking about. And so I couldn't get any clarity. I couldn't get any answers until I found sort of one way of working, and then I stuck with that one way, and through that I built a philosophy, I built a foundation to work upon. So in my own opinion, I think working with one quality teacher is a good thing. However, if I hadn't gone looking for another teacher, I wouldn't have realised what quality was. So in the early stages, I was being taught to protect myself and that the spirit world are going to harm me. Whereas now I know different because I went looking, because that didn't seem right to me. Why did the spirit world want to communicate and yet they want to hurt me at the same time? What am I doing? So I had to find quality. When I found the quality, that's when I started listening and looking at the mechanics. Now I do all of that with my team, and I design my own classes and my own meditations now because of that one influence that I had in my mind at that time, letting me understand mediumship, and through me understanding it, I could then present to a channel, for example, a simpler way, an easier way. So good question, Amanda, or Mandy, whichever one it was. I can't believe Jesus is coming here tonight. I can't believe it. Incredible. Does spirit just go on to random mediums in hopes that the medium will track the recipient down to deliver a message? No, it's a good point. It's a good point. Okay, so I'm getting tired. How long have we been doing? If I'm in the room, so if I'm working with, let me change the screen, it's confusing me. So if I'm in the room and a medium walks into the room, then all my loved ones are present because I'm in the room. So they can access that state of consciousness because I am here. And in that moment, they will connect to the medium that's in front of me to then be able to have their communication. It's not a case of tracking them down. They know where I am. They know what to do. I do think they are kind of opportunists. They will take their moment. If they see a medium, they will get it. They will get their message through. I totally see that aspect. But it's not like Liam Neeson and Taken and hunting them down until they get their message across. I don't think it's so much like that, but I think they're opportunists, but they know where I'm going to be. They know how it's going to work. The spirit world have always said to me, the timing is never wrong. And I kind of like that. I kind of like that process. What is going on here? So what have we got here? No problem, Miss Responsibility. So that's exactly what happens. I talk super fast and even spirit tell me to slow down. So makes sense. One space left for the March platform workshop I'm seeing there. So so Diane, you need to, you want to get on one. I don't know if Carol's sorting that out. I don't know how far away I am. Can you add me on that? Oh, right. Okay, so we're getting rid of some spaces now. Cool. So M Crusco. I think I recognise that for some reason. Hi Charlie, I would be grateful for your thoughts on this case. Someone that I know that meditates in silence for the past 2 years and never done anything else spiritual before. Until 3 weeks ago, where he was sitting on the power only for 2 days most of the day. A week after the workshop, he started to move his hands and arms while sitting in the power by himself, and he thinks it's his guides. Is this normal? Okay, so I'm going to cause offense, so I'm going to upset a few people maybe. So when the spirit world, when we're sitting in our power, we're moving our mind. We've got to move our mind to a zone. Very poorly done. So we've got to, let me get the can't see it. Let me get that up there. So this is our mind here. Everyday thoughts, you know, altered states and mediumship. This is all mediumship. So this is altered states here. This is inspiration, mediumship down to entrancement starts about here. This is sleep. So this is entrancement here. Entrancement happens, and they want to use your mind so they can speak. They can speak. I don't see the purpose, the intelligence of the spirit world. I don't see the purpose as such of them moving the arms. Now, that's not to say that it's not the spirit world. If he's sitting for 2 days, there is a lot of power being built there. I appreciate that. I would have to see it myself, but the likelihood is that it's, I would say it was him or her. However, I would need to see it. If you're sitting that deep for that length of time, you know, over 2 days, potentially it could be entrancement, trance work, for the Americans channeling. But I would need to see it to know where to give advice there, mate. So I can't really do more than that on a live feed. Okay, a week after the workshop. Oh, so you've been on a workshop. Okay. What do you think are good characteristics of a development circle? Development circles and practice circles are different, correct? It depends. It's terminology. I mean, some people call open circles, closed circles. There's all different forms of circles. So, so what do I think are good characteristics of a development circle or practice circles? I'll just answer both. A good one is with a teacher with understanding. You know, like if you bring forward a question, then they've got a logical answer. You know, like if you asked about protection, if you asked about mechanics, if you ask about like how does this process work, and then the teacher then can demonstrate maybe to the group. I think they are good characteristics. Someone with you know, if they're talking about doing public work, then they do lots of public work. If they do lots of live feeds and stuff and they're talking mechanics, then no teacher would ever be offended by the question that comes in on a subject about mechanics. It's just one of those things. I think all of these things are absolutely crucial when you're sitting in a group of people. And logic, I mean, the spirit world is very, very intelligent. Logically, they would do things that are not going to be sort of weird and sort of like like we can't explain it almost. I mean, they're so clever that we can at least give it some sort of understanding. So I would say they're absolutely crucial. I would always ask the teacher to demonstrate what they are asking you to demonstrate, or certainly talk you through a process that makes sense, is something that I think is crucial. Do you see different spirit faces coming through just before you go to sleep at night? This happens to me quite a lot, despite being closed down. Okay, so I don't close down as such. That's part of this mindset. Switch screen as part of this mindset. So everyday life, and as you're going through the altered state, you're allowing the spirit world to give you spirit faces, etc., which has to come in this this area here. So as you're going to sleep, you're going through the process here where you will walk past the spirit world as such. Absolutely no chance that's happening to me. Absolutely. Do you know, I've worked all day. I've done a whole weekend working in Geneva, teaching lots and lots of new students. Went to watch a demonstration by a UK medium on the Friday night that was in Geneva, and it flashed up on Facebook. So I went along. Then I held my own weekend seminar, flew home, and now I'm doing a live feed. Like that, I'm doing as much as I possibly can for the spirit world. They can do one if they're going to start waking me up or being there when I'm going to bed. So absolutely not. I do not have it. It's like you can speak to me tomorrow, and then they can do that. So it's just not for me. So it's a discipline, I'm afraid. It's a discipline. So thank you, Diane. I love it when you announce that you're going to offend people. I know something good is is coming. Nightmare. So the honesty and the clarity of your teaching is so refreshing, Charlie. Thank you for all your efforts. That's again very, very kind. And Suzanne, there has just been a video put up at the bottom, which will give you my very black and white thoughts on the process of the spirit world coming in to speak to me just before I go to sleep. So absolutely not happening. So as I'm gonna wrap that up. You've had like, I don't know, what, an hour and a half, hour and 3/4, something along those lines, in it. I will get another one scheduled up. I look forward to it. I really enjoy them. I really enjoy your questions, which is it's starting to feel like the channel's going somewhere. It's starting to feel like people are listening in some way. So that in itself makes it worthwhile. Please sign up to any kind of workshops or mentoring or demonstrations, like the demonstration at the end of the week in Folkestone in Kent, the one in Suffolk with my buddy Marcus. I'll be announcing my own ones for next year, where it'll be a big one just for me. It's just it helps. It really helps. I really, really, really appreciate all the support. I try and give that in return with the snippet videos. The videos are on your questions. So if the channel's not like exciting enough, or it's not to the point enough, then I need the questions to be more blunt or more precise, more dialed in, because the videos are for you. The videos are for the people that are asking the questions. So if they want more videos, then I need more questions, and that way I can help you, hopefully in some kind of way, get through the process. So I think I will call it an evening. I will try to upload a video tomorrow. I'm not going to promise because my back's hurting now, but I will try to upload a video tomorrow. I will publish on here and on Facebook when the next live feed will be, and I'll try and do it sooner rather than later. So if you're not on the Facebook page, get over there, like the page. Please subscribe to the channel if you aren't subscribed. like the video. If you jump back on later on, give it a like, because that helps the algorithm. Share the channel, share a video, share one of your favorite videos to any platform to help the channel to get out there. And that way the channel can grow, I can do more, I can spend more time doing this YouTube stuff, and hopefully you're gaining from it. So thank you all. I will speak to you all very soon, and I will see you in my next video. So for now, I'm gonna love you and leave you all. Go get a drink, go and have a cigarette, and relax for the rest of my evening. So bye for now.